Today is the day I tear down my display and put it away for another 10 months. We had a little wind the other day, kind of knocked down one prop, my medium-sized tree, which is probably about 10 feet tall, stands about 15 foot at the top of the tree. And I've got to get this all taken down today because, as you can see, uh, my clover is taking over my lawn, so it's getting pretty tall. It's hiding my trees in the back. So I'll just do a little quick walk around what I've got here. Here I had a medium-sized tree of about 16 ribbons of LED lights, each ribbon having 50 LEDs. That is a controller over there for it. It controls that tree and several of the other props, including the arches and the mini trees here. I have, the 6 arches and 6 mini trees here together, the bouncing arches, which have the LEDs in them also. And the little mini trees that you can see is just stuffed with little LEDs, the 8211 LEDs. And here I got my medium-sized little trees, and then I got the big mega tree surrounded again. The mega tree itself is roughly to the top of the star is 28 feet tall. At the top of the star, each ribbon has 150 LEDs, 2 inches apart, and I've got 24 strips of LEDs on that. The pole itself is a 2-inch galvanized pipe with an 1.5 inch inside of it. 2 inch goes in the ground, probably about 2.5 feet. I did a water jet type of a hole. I didn't dig it up. I just used water jet and jetted a hole. Lined it with some PVC and to hold it up. So year after year, I pull it out, cap the PVC so I don't fill back up with dirt and grime and junk and lawn clippings. And then once again, at the end, when I bring it up, I clean it out, pop the cap, and then it takes 2 men and a boy to lift that galvanized pole and drop it in. I have these guidelines on each side. As you can see, they're kind of loose. They don't make much difference. They do help, I'm sure, when it gets really windy. As you can see, the pole leans a little bit because my hole's a little at an angle. But it's been pretty solid. It hasn't moved. This will be my 4th year of using that hole, and it's been pretty good as far as that is concerned. So I'll probably continue using it. I thought about taking it and cementing it in and making a flagpole out of it. But it's still something I'm considering. Across the front of the house, I have a bunch of the biggest of the little mini trees with some stars on them. I don't know where I got the stars from. I bought some Coroplast props, and they were in at one time. I don't remember buying them. But over here, I got 6 medium mini trees, and then of course I have my little snowflakes I bought in the first year of doing this, and of course gotta have a cow. Across the front of the garage I have these candy canes I made. I think each one has 16 LED strip lights in them. 3D kind of thing. Looks really nice when it works. And then I used to have some big snowflakes across the garage, but this year I was a power injection problem. So I just took them down out of the way, and I put up this display garage door cover, which my wife really seems to like. So, and it looks pretty cool. It doesn't show the clutter that's what's inside the garage. But I'm going to do a little quick walkthrough of what I got from controllers. Here I've got a controller on my tree. This is pretty much powers just the tree alone. Next year I'm going to split up into 6 channels. Right now it's 4 channels of 900 each. And I think I'm getting a little power issues. It's pulling about 5.5 amps per port, so I want to get that below 5 because I kept blowing some fuses, so I've got them doubled up a little bit, and I'd rather not do that. So I'll probably, I have 3 extra ports because one port is a star, and I think I have a port running the little mini trees on the outside of the tree. But next year I'm going to redo my thinking on how I'm going to do these little mini trees. My neighbor said I could expand in the yard, yay. So I'll probably do arches down to the end of their yard and then put the mini trees with that. So so basically, I just have in here this is an extension of the Falcom remote control board, and then I have come out to update these X connectors, which I've standardized for that waterproof connectors. I was using some of the other ones, and I was having a problem with water, and finding out that water and 12 volts don't makes smoky connectors. So over here is the main brains of the operation behind this gate here. So right here is the main controller. As you can see, I'm not using too many because I'm going all remote, which works out really nice because I don't have to run all the wires from here. I just put them as sub-controllers where each tree has its own controller. Like the the medium tree had one, which run the arches and everything. So I have to run the cables all the way from here because what happens, you get a power drop. Up here is the main brains of the operation. You got a Pi 4 computer up here, and then I've got a little audio board and the FM control, FM radio transmitter. It's not going this year. I don't have audio running this year because I don't have audio with the display. Next year I try to implement some kind of audio. I'll probably have to put some speakers out there, put them away so they don't disappear in the night. And then here's where all the power comes into my bottom controller, my bottom box. And I have an IP based switch control, so I can control individual outlets, turn them on and off. And through the software for the Falcom software for the light show controller, I can turn on and off the outlets. So during the off time during the day, I can turn off the outlets, which turns off the pole at the controllers at the poles, and saves some power because the LEDs, even though they're not glowing, they are consuming electricity. And for the time being, I just have an extension cord run from the back of the house. I do plan on putting a 20 amp, maybe, I don't think I need a 30 amp, but a 20 amp connection out here for power, so I don't have to run it, and then some Ethernet cable out here because I do need Ethernet. As you can see, I got a hub over here because you got the Falcom controller and they need to talk to each other. But I might put the PC in the house with the other, my Pi rack. So that's it for the power and the controllers and everything like that, because it's pretty straightforward. You know, I did the sub panels this year. I did more of it than I did last year because I was running the cables out to here, and I was getting all the voltage drop issues. So I decided let's try it different this year. I did this last year, and I did the other tree this year. As you can see, a couple of ribbons are on the ground. We got a big wind that kind of tore it up a little bit and knocked out a couple of the middle ribbons. So I just left them and just slid everybody over and rewired them because I have all these custom cables I made over the years that, you know, from the controller, you know, and then adds a power injection along the ribbons. You know, there's 6 ribbons, like I said, on each channel. So next year I'll reduce it to 4. And I do the power injection there also. And it worked out pretty good. This year it really worked out good. I finally figured it out. It is a pain. A power injection is a nemesis. But it's what you have to deal with. So I'll be pulling that down, and you bring over my 6-foot ladder to get up to the winch. It's a hand-powered winch. I was going to try a 12-volt one this year, but I just couldn't get it mounted the way I wanted to. It's going to take a lot of mounting. Because the way I do, I take a winch, and you see a second pole up there. It pushes the top up as I tighten it down. And it's not suspended on that right now because there's a bolt somewhere here that, as you can see, I have it inside that cable I didn't use. And it sits on that, and it takes the tension off. So, you know, I assemble it all, then I crank it up. I like to go another foot higher, but that's the max pull, that length is of that pole. So next year I'm going to do some pulleys and probably a winch down at the bottom to control a little different. I'll probably get another foot out of it. Another foot would help me a lot because, as you can see, I come all the way to the ground, you know, for the ribbons. And I use this bent conduit to hold it in place. But I'd like to bring it in a little bit on the bottom because the resolution of the pictures and images, it'd be more defined. And I think I might put some fiberglass between the ribbons. As you can see, they get twisted up with a little wind. And I want to keep them from flopping around the wind because when it blows, they're flopping around up pretty good. And I just worry about them knocking out the connections and making intermittent connections. This year I did a thing between every 50 LEDs is a connector. So this year they were just a simple little cheap connectors that get water in them. I put grease in them, and it wouldn't work. It worked, but after a while, after a couple of years, I said this year I decided to go through all of them and just to cut out the connectors, and I just wired them, soldered them together, and heat shrunk them together. So I didn't have no problems this year as far as water infiltration, so which was good. When I first put it together, I just like, I don't get that much to worry about, and it was a lot to worry about. As you can see, I put all the X connectors on those cables up there too. I didn't want to deal with water at all this year, because that's kind of my standardized. I went with the X connectors instead of the Raywu and some of those other connectors that they have. Because you get one string of lights has one connector, so you got to standardize because everything's a different connector, and you got to plug them together. And it's hard enough I'm finding out that, I want a power jack at the end of the line, so now I have an inlet connector as an output just to power the end of the line to fake it out that's the end of the line, end of the string. But for the most part, I was really pleased I got it working pretty good this year, except for a couple of these trees. I think I'm going to split their channels too because there's 170 plus 10. So it's 200 a tree for LED, so I had 800 altogether, so the last tree was kind of acting weird. So I think I'm going to split the channels. As you can see, the controller had quite a few left over. So I don't think controller is going to be a problem. Ports. If not, I got a spare controller because in case one breaks, I have a spare. And that next thing, I have my house lined with some other C9 looking lights, but they're LEDs. They're also adjustable LEDs. So as you see in the displays, you kind of see that they work with in conjunction with the rest of the scene. Next year I will be using more and adding to the roof. I got some roof to play with, and I thought I'll put some props up there. So that's pretty much a summary of what I've got, how I got this thing set up this year. And have Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and hopefully I'll be showing you something new for next year. Thank you for watching.